Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, I am, like I said, discussing the idea of miracles here and this whole placement, time type of a thing. Now, one major difference between time travel and miracles is that with time travel, you're trying to go back, theoretically, go back in time and change something. The reality, of course, is you're still in the present time for you, therefore you have brought the past forward and you're creating an alternate reality. In a miracle, you are projecting yourself more forward into your future. So you are here, but instead of pulling some piece of the past and bringing it forward, okay, you are looking kind of forward and imaging what you want to be there. Now, let me flip this over here. The absolutes, okay? Like I was using before, okay, the image of the runner in a track meet, they're part of the relay race, and they're told how they're the last person, they're number 4, they're that dog leg, they've got to really run their butt off, everybody's going to be counting on them, and they're really got a lot of weight on their shoulders and everything, and they're standing there in their position and they're watching the runners come around the track and they're seeing the baton pass and all that, and the whole time they're telling, oh God, it's a lousy day and I don't have my special socks on and whatever. Alright, they are running a bunch of negative attitude in their own head and putting themselves in the position of losing. The absolute, oops, I ain't gonna do it today, creates the absolute of chances are very high they're not going to do it. The same thing happens with a miracle. If you believe that that preacher over there has a better connection with the gods than you do, you have diminished your chances of having a miracle. Because that preacher cannot have a better connection to the spiritual realm to cause your miracle than you. You are the one requesting it. It is your heart, the color of your heart, the purity of your heart, the purity of your request that will be looked upon. Okay? It is your strength of your soul, and it is your mental image that will make the difference. Now, big issue, and especially in today's modern world where everybody likes to try and say, oh no it ain't, is that people don't like to believe that an operation to remove all the cancer, or a doctor suddenly finding a miracle cure for an illness, have anything to do with spiritually arranged miracles. It has everything, folks. At what point in time do you control something that is greater than you? You don't. You do not control gods. You do not control the spiritual entities. You do not control the spiritual realm. Therefore, yes, if the gods decide that Joseph Salk over there is going to find a cure for smallpox, that is a miracle, folks. 100% within the laws of the spiritual realm. Finding a cure for AIDS, same thing. Now that miracle may be butchered all to pieces by Big Pharma saying, oh hey, if we charge $4 million a shot, we can make a bunch of money because there's 80 million people that need this shot. And they know that they're producing that shot for 15 cents. Then yeah, they've raped, pillaged, and plundered. They didn't need to do that. And I don't know exactly how to tell you this, but that's humans. And that comes up with the idea, and we're going to discuss it later, about the idea of free will. Me personally, I get tired of hearing people blame gods. I don't even like blaming the gods. I mean, I get in their faces because we talk, okay? I mean, I can say hey, and they can say hey back right that fast, okay? Two-way conversation, it ain't an issue. But 99% of the time, I'm asking, what am I not doing right, boss, that you're swatting my face here, or you're making me bump my head, or you know, things aren't going right. And we get into it. Sometimes I have to change, and quite recently, the gods had to change. We made it. We didn't exactly 100% me winning, but I laid it low that they were keeping me in a position where a situation wasn't going to change because the other people that I'm dealing with, their environment was not changing. Therefore, they did not have to change their behavior. And after the gods ran me through the ringer for 19 months and watched me put all the data on the table in front of them, they said, yeah, you're right, Peter. You are allowed to make a change. We consent to the fact that you are more correct than us because you are basing on their actual experience, or your actual experience of dealing with humans, and we are looking at the potentiality of what a human can be. A little bit of difference, major issue here on the planet. They allowed the change. I had to make some concessions. I still have to put myself in a position where a particular person is allowed to know that they can come talk to me. The rest of the people are now removed out of my life, and I don't. They are poof, gone. I just don't have to look at them in the face every day anymore. So there is a lot that goes on in the spiritual realm. There is a lot that happens. There is a lot that is involved in what a miracle is. But the Pope cannot tell you that you're not going to heaven because the Pope doesn't control that. The Pope controls the money he brings into the church. Pope Francis was hired to be Pope Francis because if you go back and read the headlines, the church was saying, all the parishioners are leaving, we've got to get them to come back. And this guy, whatever his name was before it became, and do you ever wonder about why popes go in and they change their names to something else? They alias themselves? I do. Why do they always change their name to some other guy's name? Why can't they walk in and be themselves? Interesting, huh? But Pope Francis, he was loved by the poor people. Okay, who's the most common person to get money out of? The poor person, the masses. Why? Because the rich people might give money, but the poor people give energy, time, labor, money, food, artwork, whatever they can think of. The people in this town are so used to the idea that as long as they're giving a little piece of their action to the church, they can literally steal. And it's okay as long as they give 10% to the church. The church will absolve them of theft. Okay? In America, it's just as bad as it is here. Believe me, there's no difference. I have watched it everywhere. But in this town, it's understood. The church is a business. They want money. If I steal from you and I get 100 pesos and I go give the church 10 pesos, I'm absolved of any sin of having stolen from you. I can do it again tomorrow. And that's what forgiveness is. The church say, oh, you're forgiven. Oh, you're forgiven. Mañana, you're forgiven. Mañana, you're forgiven. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Okay? They want money. Pope Francis, what's he do? He goes out and he talks to all the poor people. You've got to give more. The Vatican is one of the richest places around. And they're asking the poor people to give more money so the poor people have more to eat. How do you take from somebody and they have more? Doesn't work. So that's what happens when you try and deal with a miracle, is that if you go ask the preacher to pray to God and you don't, you're not going to get a miracle because you're not reaching out to whatever your God is. You're not reaching out to your spiritual entity. You also have to stop and realize that if your little girl, I have a niece, well, kind of have a niece. She's not exactly blood related. Well, yeah, I guess she is blood related because she is the daughter of my half brother. My half brother, therefore, is blood related. So I have a niece, and she had cancer in her head. Okay, big huge chunk of cancer. They found out about it. They got there in time. They went in for the surgery. And I sat there and I pushed for the energy to make sure it got full and clean. Okay. Now I know a great many cancer patients. I have worked with people that have cancer. I have been around a lot of people with cancer. And in this little girl's situation, they did in fact go in and do the operation. It was very good. Everything went fine. I forget. I think it was something like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours of operation. But they went in and scraped a whole bunch of this cancerous tumor out of her head, away from her brain, and she didn't have any big problems anymore. The cancer causing her tongue to kind of epilept on her ended. She can now, she now went back to talking quite normal and not having weird things happen, and all of that. Several years down the line, she was still clean. I don't know the visioning aspect of anybody else in the family, but I know I held an image of it all being cleaned out, that she would be clean. Now, if you have been around cancer patients, if you have been around medical systems and know about what goes on, you only have to have a couple of cancer cells get loose in the body and not be affected by any chemical treatments or natural remedies, or the removal of the tumor, if it's a situation where they can go in and just cut the whole tumor out without cutting it to pieces, of it not spreading or having the possibility of spreading. Men with prostate cancer, it's something like a 50% increase if you have a biopsy of having cancer spread through your whole body, because they go in and they poke a hole in that tumor and it immediately releases the cancer into your bloodstream. So you have to set the proper images and make it correct and right in order to do stuff, and that's what you have to do to create a miracle, is you have to start formulating a correct image. Absolute is an absolute, and you are projecting it forward, not going back in time. You are now projecting forward. So you are in fact actually altering your time frame. Okay? So I think I better stop there. I think that's about 15 minutes.